Let's officially get started. Hi, everyone. I am Sarah Feldman from the consortium staff. I'm joined by, I think all of the rest of the staff is on today, Kelly and Matt and Jill and Jennifer. Glad to see you all here with us today. I'm going to do a quick scan through what is now a public blog post. So it has kind of all the latest and greatest resources at least highlighted and linked here. But then I'm going to dig into either some of the backstory or show you more exclusive member resources that are sort of behind the scenes or companion items to what we put just in the public blog. So to summarize this quarter, the most standout items are some exciting KCS milestones. And of course, no one's surprised. We might be surprised it's October already, Christina, but no one's surprised that we talked more about AI this past quarter. So we'll dig into plenty of new insights about that. So first, our most exciting KCS milestone that we surpassed this past quarter was our 10,000 certified professionals milestone in 73 countries. This has been years in the making. Tons of member contributions have been part of this, and it's something that we're pretty excited to brag about what you all have accomplished and how KCS has been adopted around the world by so many folks we know and that we get to hear from, and so many folks that we don't know. And if you think about the number of employees and then customers and customers who get to experience the benefits of all these folks knowing and practicing KCS, it's pretty exciting to be a part of it. KCS continues to be a thing that we focus on in our regular events. So we've been hosting the KCS Transformation Series this year, a 4-part series based on the KCS Adoption and Transformation Guide. So we hosted the 3rd one very recently, actually, on the build proficiency phase. These are great resources. If you go to any of the existing pages, it's a nice recap of all the resources and recommendations for each of those phases. And then the recorded conversation where we have certified KCS trainers chiming in, answering direct questions from the audience and sharing tons of extra wonderful wisdom. So I encourage you to check those out or share those with anyone you know who is on their KCS journey. Now, moving on to AI chit chat. Matt Seaman presented a wonderful review of our AI landscape, and we ended up capturing and sharing this in 2 parts. First, where you can go see kind of the history, the context, the background of where we've been with AI, and then where we're going, featuring a few member examples and case studies of what they're doing with AI. Now, I do have something in the members wiki that I put together for you that is going to be maybe a little bit more useful in terms of guiding you through a bunch of member-only content for AI. So, of course, you can come through here and click through and check this out, but stay tuned for a few minutes. I'm going to show you something just for members. We heard great feedback from the community on these. We always like to find and reshare compliments that people give us on LinkedIn. Why not? If you're not following us on LinkedIn, please do. We'd love to see your shares and comments on there, and connect our resources to even more folks who they can help. Last week, actually, not just last quarter, but last week, we hosted our annual executive summit. This is an annual invite-only event. It's invite-only because we tried to keep it small, so it's conversational among higher-level leaders and organizations. And naturally, the focus was AI. And but again, we're really trying to keep a focus on thoughtful and strategic automation. I think it's our way of wanting to slow down the chaos, the hype curve that Matt's been talking about in some of his presentations, and approach things really thoughtfully. And lucky for us, we have a bunch of members who have been doing exactly that and shared really great examples about how they're making this a reality in their organizations, turning things from concept to prototyping into production. And once again, I'm going to show you a great way to access all of those that's exclusive for members. We have a 3-minute highlight reel of some of the closing thoughts from the event. That's fun to look at and see some impressions from attendees about what they heard and learned at the event. Okay, and now for our member-only resources section. This is just a quick overview of some of the newer things. Of course, our communities of practice for Salesforce and ServiceNow continue to meet. If you are a user of either of these platforms, these are sort of member-driven groups that meet to help each other make the best of using these tools in their environment. Right now, the Salesforce group meets monthly. Their next meeting is just 2 days from now. And the ServiceNow group meets quarterly. And we have those meetings and then private Slack channels for each of those groups as well. So let us know if you'd like to have access to either of those. We also revisited a great, wonderful, longstanding resource, Understanding Success by Channel. We met as a group to look at the history of how this resource has come about for measuring self-service and other digital channels. And we've talked about the future of this resource. A great recorded conversation and resource that shows all the sort of history and complementary references for it. If you are interested in participating in the next iteration, we kind of are in the concept phase for what a 2.0 version of this guide, and it's going to be a little bit more focused on optimizing self-service. Please let us know if you'd like to participate. We're really looking for members to chime in and help us create the resource that's going to help you all and your jobs. We had a good chat about automation for KCS program managers. This was more exploratory, wondering, well, we've been talking about AI for so many things when it comes to knowledge workers, certainly customer experience, other kinds of things in the business. But what about KCS program managers? Adam Hansen kind of raised his hand to want to lead this discussion here. And the idea is, especially if you're a program team of one sometimes, one or a small program team in a large organization, and how can automation just unlock some time and bandwidth for you as a program manager to then focus on the things that need real human-to-human interaction? So it was an interesting discussion there. And intelligent swarming, Royce from Autodesk generously represented his member summit presentation about intelligent swarming. Really great story there if you're looking to adopt intelligent swarming at your organization. Great example and lessons learned, takeaways, advice for how to approach intelligent swarming in your organizations. And this is very breaking news because we haven't even had time to tell anyone yet, but we have a brand new case study for intelligent swarming. Make sure everyone gets the link soon for that. It's with the team at Ping. Monique and Larry have presented about intelligent swarming at Ping Identity at previous events, and we now have a great case study of their experience available for reference as well. Get the link to you very soon for that. We just literally so soon, we haven't even had a chance to tell anyone. And of course, behind the scenes, yes, Kelly, thank you for putting that link in the chat. Behind the scenes, we are working, of course, already on events for 2025. Member Summit registration is going to be open like in 1 week. We're so close, guys. So I hope you're excited. We have a link here that you can get notified the second it opens. Although if you're tuning in to our newsletters, our Slack, our website, as soon as it's available, you're going to be able to find the link. So really hope that you've already put that on your calendar for 2025. Love to see you at our annual in-person summit in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be great. Within walking distance to a Waffle House is what I've heard so far. So if you come for any reason, right, that's why I'm going. And maybe also to learn a few things. Fine. Also in 2025, we're talking about restarting the KCS World Tour events. These were one-day events that we hosted in the before times all over the place, a gathering for members, but also plenty of non-members, really any KCS enthusiasts to gather for a day and spend a day hearing stories, talking to folks who can help them implement KCS, talk to each other, talk to vendors. And so we're thinking about restarting in 2025. We've been a little bit slow in returning to in-person events, but we feel like the interest and the energy is there. So please let us know if that's something you'd be interested in attending anytime next year. Where should we host one? We'd love to know what you think. Let me check my notes to make sure I said all the extra things that I wanted to before I show you the extra special resource I wanted to. We will look at the upcoming events calendar in a minute here, but let me pop over to our members only wiki. So if you're not able to log into our members only wiki, definitely let us know. Just endless extra resources here of member wisdom. This is the homepage of the members only wiki. Actually, let me just start from the homepage to orient you in case you haven't been here in a minute. So this is we call the digital library. This is where all the public KCS documentation is, similarly for intelligent swarming and our public resources for our other initiatives. And then this is where another way you can always find the members only wiki, but of course we have it linked directly from many places as well. This is, if you scroll down, there's a lot to see. We have things organized by initiative with tons and tons and maybe too much, but we have a couple areas if you're wanting to know what's new is our featured member resources, and then we keep a list here of the more recent items within each of the initiatives that maybe you missed. You can always go and check notes and recordings from any events that whether you attended or not. For example, the executive summit that I mentioned, that we keep it small so it's conversational, but there's several presentations. I'm going to highlight a few in particular in a minute that we do record the presentations, and you can still go access those presentations. And sometimes we just keep the more conversational stuff unrecorded. So these are here for you. And speaking of those executive summit presentations, put together a summary of many of our more recent examples and case studies and guidance from members for automation, for the thoughtful and strategic automation topic that we keep talking about. So this is meant for members to guide you through both public and member-only resources. So if you remember a minute ago, I showed you Matt's presentation. So we have part one here, which is navigating the AI landscape. It's the background, it's some of the models and previous thinking that have gone into where we are with automation in the consortium, among the consortium membership. And I have part two linked down here. You can watch these in any order that you want, of course, but I've put them in this order because this, if you want to really spend some time to dig into real life ways that companies are operationalizing AI, this is a really great resource. If we expand this here, this includes some presentations that we heard at the executive summit last week. That includes hearing from Corey at Cisco, Mike at SAP, Andrea at SAS, multiple friends at Akamai gave an update. They've presented before on their AI program. And then a little bit earlier this year, we heard from Albert at Red Hat, as well as Ramon from PTC. He has some more updated slides from his member summit presentation, but here's a recording of his perspective here. So all of these are available here. And then my recommendation is that you go back and watch part two of Matt's presentation here, which does a nice recap and puts it all into context of keeping us on track of being thoughtful and strategic with how we're implementing it. I put examples here, not example specifics of the watch time for each of these. So it is quite a few hours of, between 5 and 6 hours of content here. More, you could spend way more time if you were to dig into all of the complementary resources that are linked. If you look out there in the world, I see folks on LinkedIn posting all the time about they're getting their AI certificates and they're taking the LinkedIn learning courses. I saw a LinkedIn learning path that's like 9 hours of content and Coursera and Udemy, all those places. I'm sure that's great content. I'm not telling you if you should or shouldn't also check out those courses, but I know what we have here is something really special and unique to membership. These things are not scripted. These are real life, like the good and the bad in terms of how things are going at companies, along with captured member dialogue and conversations and Q&A about this. So a really wonderful resource to dig into how to, I think, make AI a reality, a useful reality in your organizations. Consortium staff, did I miss anything special about the last quarter that you want to call out or add commentary to?
I just love seeing all the work that we have been doing and that our members have been focused on. And it's such a lovely time to pause here at the what do we call this? The threshold of November, the threshold of quarter four.
Yeah.
Um, Take a look at all the stuff that's going on.
Great segue, Kelly. I don't know how you do that. Oh, yeah. Let's just peek at our upcoming events calendar, what we have coming up. Look, here we are right now on the quarterly recap live. Andy's getting intimidated by you mentioning November already in the chat, Kelly. It's okay, Andy. You can um relax in Barcelona since I know you're going. We'll show that here soon. Later this week. Is that later this week? October 3rd is only a couple days away, isn't it? KCS and outsourcing. This is a topic that's come up a bunch over the year. I mean, years and years. It's, every year I think we have one or two topics or questions or open space sessions on it. So we're going to regather. There's a bunch of folks registered for this where we're going to take a look at years of captured conversations and challenges really around this topic. How do you manage KCS with outsourced folks? And dig into kind of getting our captured wisdom organized in something that I think is going to be being a great resource for folks who are using outsourced teams along with KCS programs. So hope to see you there if that's something that is relevant in your world. Next week, we'll be talking about customer experience. I love how David Kay has been rephrasing this so politely. He's been rephrasing this as, pardon me, your org chart is showing, is basically the topic. This is something that I've presented at a previous conference this year, and I'm presenting it again at a different conference. And Matt twisted my arm and asked me to present it with members, and I'm really excited to actually get your input and examples and wisdom about how we can do even better by our customers. Sometimes we accidentally let our internal org chart impose on our customer experience, and there's ways to mitigate that. Here's Barcelona, if you can make it, or if you have colleagues who can make it, please share with them an in-person meeting focused on KCS and collaboration. Once again, looking at that automation topic, but from a viewpoint of let's make sure that it's doing the right things in the right way. Let's not just throw spaghetti at the wall with AI. And later on this year, in December, we will have the fourth of that transformation series event that I mentioned. And then we do like to gather at the very end of the year to do a full recap of the whole year. Hope to see you at another event soon. And you can always reach any of us on Slack or over email or on LinkedIn, wherever you find us. We're here to help you, connect you with resources to accomplish whatever you need to at work.